and there's always someone listening that will be able to relate to your truth. And even if you reach one person, that is a significant impact. My name is Raphael Olympio. I'm from Togo originally, in West Africa. I came to Ireland when I was about 6 years old, and I've been here for about 22 years. I'm a rapper and spoken word artist, and I'm also sing and songwriter facilitator for young people at the Cork Migrant Centre. So I'm a youth mentor essentially. I've been doing music for about 10 years now. I got into it because I guess I kind of found it hard to speak up. I grew up in the direct provision system where it was just difficult to speak, I guess. You're always being interviewed and always being questioned, so there was just a lot of fear about speaking, and also it was in an isolated area, so there wasn't much of a community there. And even when I did go out into the community, I was judged instantly because of who I am. So it was just very difficult for me to speak up, and I just isolated myself, and I became very reserved, and I just started writing. I started writing stories, and I'd write stories about the situation I was in, and I'd write stories about where I wish I was, and that was out of the direct provision system and a place where there was equality. So that's where music kind of stemmed from, the creativity and the songwriting. I kind of had role models, which were people on TV that I saw, and the only role models in that time, in the early 2000s, was rappers, entertainers such as comedians, soccer players. These were the only kind of black male role models I had in my life. I didn't see much black people around growing up. I didn't see them even in like movies. I didn't see them playing positive roles. So I loved people like Tupac, who spoke about his community. I loved comedians like Dave Chappelle and various other actors. And I just wanted to be like them because that's all I saw that was somewhat positive. And I saw people in my community also accepting them for who they were and enjoying their craft. So I said, you know what, I want to be like them. So I started mimicking them. I started mimicking artists like Tupac, The Game, 50 Cent, and various other rappers. And that's where kind of the rapping and songwriting began for me. And I haven't stopped since. And now I talk about my community, the struggles that I'm going through, and the good things I'm going through as well. I'm currently working on a new project, which was directed by Andrea Williams. She's directing one of my music videos. The song is called EPG. EPG stands for Exploitation, Power, Greed. So this song is about being exploited, how power just takes so much from you, and just greed, you know. Coming from Africa, West African country, we've experienced so much greed from the western side of the world, where they come into our country and they take so much of our resources and don't give back, and then they wonder why we migrate to the Western world and we get backlash and we get hate. So the song is kind of about that. I wouldn't say too much, but I'm very excited for this music video, and I'm excited to share it with the world. In the year 2020, when there was a lot of uproar with the George Floyd incident, the Cork Migrant Centre decided, you know what, we're going to get young people in the community who are creatives to speak up against racism. I mean, I've talked about so much through my music, through my spoken word and poetry, but I never really touched on racism until this moment, because it just really triggered me. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to write about a compilation of all the racial incidences that has happened to me. I did this, and we did this in front of the Gardaí, in front of politicians, and I saw that there was an effect. They really listened through the spoken word. And then I saw the younger generation doing the same, and I said, you know what, I want to help the younger generation to even do it more. So Stevie G was already doing music workshops with the young people, and I started working with him, and we create a safe space for the young people to speak about any of their experiences of racism and positive experiences and how to express that comfortably. Recently I'm actually working with GMC and we're working with young people about female empowerment. And I don't want to kind of guide them too much because I am male and I don't want to put my perception of female empowerment. I want them to have that kind of creative freedom to do so. So we've got people like Andrea Williams and various other female creatives to kind of take the role in that, and people like Denise Shaila and there's Felice Speaks and so many other artists who are leading the way for younger female artists. And then there's other artists like Jay Yellowell, God Knows, and various other artists who are also leading the way for the younger male artists. And you can see the ripple effect, you know, so it's working. The role models are really impacting the younger crew. And the beautiful thing about mentoring the young people is I'm learning so much from them as well, and it's helped my songwriting, and it's also given me a fresh perspective, I guess, on songwriting and creativity. Something better can always be done. I think we can always do better no matter what the situation is, but I do believe Ireland is beginning to open its eyes and ears and actually see what's happening with the migrant and minority groups in Ireland. The mistreatment, the inequality, I guess, and I think a lot of artists have found the confidence in the past 2 years. I think even COVID has made a lot of artists just deep things differently and think differently about their creative approach and why they're doing creative things. For me personally, I now want to talk more about the struggles that people are having in the community, and I think a lot of other artists are doing it, and you can see it now on a wider scale. There's artists like Denise Shaila who's doing absolutely amazing things, and she's talking about her own experience of being a black woman here in Ireland. And I remember there was a time where you didn't see diverse artists of any background being put on a platform, and I think it's beautiful to see so many diverse artists being themselves through their music, and they're not scared anymore. And there's various platforms that are actually giving them the opportunity to speak their truth. And I think Ireland is getting there. There's something that I always tell the youths when we're doing the workshops, and that is to always speak your truth. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of artists who are hesitant to speak about certain situations, to speak about their personal experiences, to speak about social injustices because of fear of repercussions from the community. I think it's always safe to speak your truth, because no matter the backlash you get from it, it's your truth, and there's always someone listening that will be able to relate to your truth. And even if you reach one person, that is a significant impact. Every single one of us in our lives have listened or seen something that has impacted our lives to make us make a change or a decision. And that's because somebody spoke their truth and we were able to relate to it. So speak your truth and don't hesitate. If it's your truth, it's your truth.